Adrienne Everheart here with you. I have a question for you. Are you really in love? Or is it limerence? Obsession? Maybe it's just your anxious attachment style. Or a trigger from abandonment, but is it truly love? And how can you break free from love addiction, abandonment, and unrequited love? How do you cope with the devastating effects of heartbreak? Being ghosted by someone you truly felt with certainty had a powerful connection with you, and you had a powerful connection with them. What do we do with all of this stuff? Are you really in love, or is it something called limerence? Hi there, I'm Adrienne Everheart, and I'm a feminine energy dating and relationship coach. I teach powerful, dynamite women just like yourself how to reawaken, realign, and balance your masculine and feminine energies. Now, in this video, I'm going to share some feminine energy techniques that are going to help you understand limerence and that addicted feeling we have towards someone that we can't quite get a hold of them. Now, you might be new to my channel, you might be new to feminine energy, so I want you to take a moment and subscribe. You're going to learn more about my channel, my message, and my self-study programs. I have loads of amazing testimonials over on Instagram as well. To look in the links below, learn about my self-study programs, follow me on Instagram, please subscribe to my channel. If you've ever felt intense investment in a man quickly, like he's your only option. He's so amazing. I just met him. I just got to know him. There will never be another him. There's no one like him. And you've waited so long for one just like this. And maybe you've even known each other for, a while, but you have this intense feeling for him because the whole time you've been dating, it's been really hot and cold, and you just haven't been able to grasp him and keep hold of him. So when you feel that rush or that high anytime you interact with him, some people call this chemistry, but you may really be experiencing limerence, and you might develop a type of love addiction or obsession, especially when this person turns their back and walks away from you. When you experience a love high that is very high, or if you've ever had a man love bomb you and you're just engulfed with love and good feelings, that person really lights up all parts of your brain, and you get this dopamine hit, and your primal brain very quickly associates this person to being the solution to all your problems. That person means bliss, happiness, and intense pleasure. So your brain actually learns that this person is a solution. This person is going to make you feel good about everything. But there's one problem. You can't actually get them, or you get them for a little while, but you can't keep them. It feels a lot like a cat chasing a mouse. He's too busy, he has kids, his ex is causing problems, he had to take a trip for 2 weeks, or it is just a long distance relationship where you meet once or twice a month, and the feeling is so intense when you connect that later when he's gone, you feel so depleted. Now, you could also be in love with a friend or a coworker, or maybe you've been ghosted and dumped by a person you loved very much. And now your dopamine source has been depleted. Now you're going to feel an urge in your brain to reach out, get in contact, or pour a glass of wine, eat a bunch of food, eat some chocolate, do some things that don't support your long-term goals. The reason you're doing this is you get a masculine energy urge from your primal brain to fix the problem and give me my dopamine back. Give me my love back. Give me that attention and that affection that I crave. Now, I have noticed in my coaching experience that especially my clients who have a phone or texting relationship or a long distance relationship, they are especially at risk for limerence because they actually begin to live in this fantasy world of the mind not in reality with the man. Now, in reality, we are real people who are imperfect. We have flaws. We pick arguments. We pass gas. We feel grumpy. And given enough time around someone, they're going to irritate you. I have a best-selling program called the ABCs to Get Him Back. It stands for the Absolute Best Chances. I have loads of testimonials. This program works, but let me tell you something. I get couples back together, and quite often the woman will write to me and say, Adrienne, I changed my mind. I did the program, I completed the ABCs, we had 5 or 6 dates, but it was the same problems all over again. So you can see how she built him up in her mind. She had to have him back, and then she got him back again, and she was like, my goodness, I don't think I want this back. So often those women will also think, you know, I don't really want him back, but now I am really woke. I really know what it is I do want, which is feminine energy, and that's what I teach you how to do in that program. You can work on those triggers that are gonna come back around. Once you work through this limerence part and you're back together and all of the dopamine's wearing off. But I want you to be able to work on the things that irritate you and work on what actually drives you apart with one another using feminine energy. So, number 1, the first stop in healing your heartbreak is you must ask yourself, what is it I desire? Now, ultimately, a man either can or cannot give you the commitment and relationship that you desire. This means time, this means love, this means commitment. So I want you to check to see if you are in love with the man of the past, where everything was so beautiful and perfect, or the man in the current present. And it doesn't matter if you blame yourself that you drove him away or whatever story that you tell yourself. I want you to know the difference between what it is you desire, what it is you had in the past, and what it is you have right now. Knowing what you want in a relationship is something that I have coined as the term terms and conditions. Now, I speak about that in Fem Tools for Dating, New Man Manifesto, and the ABCs. The terms and conditions are where you must know what it is you desire in a relationship. And I'm not talking about I desire a red rose every day, but core values, like how often do you two date? How often do you sleep over? Do you travel together a couple of times a year? I want you to really know what it is you desire. This is the first step to getting over limerence. The second step is understanding limerence. Limerence is a term coined by psychologist Dorothy Tennov, and it is a state of infatuation to the point of obsession. Now, example of this would be when a woman has gone on a date with a man, or even before they've even had a phone call, and they're texting back and forth, and she's already getting attached to this man. She's feeling a deep desire for him. Ladies, I cannot begin to tell you the clients I have spoken with who can go on and on and on about a man that they have not even met. They will just list to me all of these reasons, all of these stories, why he's going to be so perfect for them. And then I say, well, how many dates have you been on? And they're like, we haven't met yet. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's already happening. You can develop limerence where in your mind, that relationship begins to feel so perfect and so amazing, and you kind of get obsessed about it. But you're not in reality yet. This is not really happening until you meet on a date. All right. So some of the symptoms of limerence are obsessive thoughts. So you're repeatedly thinking about him, talking about him. You're having some intrusive fantasies. These can even be really pleasurable, where you're dreaming about the first night you spend together, or the first trip you take together, or how much you're going to rock his world once you get him in the bed, instead of just dating him, allowing for that slow burn and allowing things to unfold. You're way up here in the future. So I want you to be able to drop back down in your body, your feminine energy body, and slow things down instead of getting into advanced thinking, advanced masculine energy, solving and into the future. Now, another thing you might experience is an actual fear of rejection and panic over what you will do if the object of your desire rejects you. Now, that was a big one I had with the artist. I could not imagine my life after he walked out of it. It's like I ended. And I just didn't have enough of me to create my own identity after he left. And it was very, very painful because I kept thinking if I could just get him back, I could figure it all out. And of course, as you know, that is not what happened. But I did end up very much happily married, but not after going through some serious pain and trials. And again, that's why I created these programs for you. That's why I became a coach. Another thing you might experience is that you put him on a pedestal where he can really do no wrong and that everything he does is so good. You really idolize him. And even if he does something bad, you kind of find a way around it. You blame yourself. So even when they're having nothing to do with you, you don't see how this really isn't a value you want. You really want to have a partner who wants you. So if you are in limerence or in heartbreak with someone and they're rejecting you, they're not wanting you, remember that is not in alignment with step one, which is, what is it I really want? You really want a partner who can reciprocate feelings and build a relationship with you. Now, the last thing is that when you're away from them, you feel really incomplete. I talked about this earlier with the artist. You get around them, you feel that rush, you feel that high. And I do believe this is why women get involved with some long distance relationships, because a long distance relationship, in my humble opinion, is the greatest way to cheat yourself, because everything is happening in the future, or it's taking place on your phone or text messaging or Zoom conversations. Step three, I want you to realize you have a problem, and a lot of women suffer from it. It is called overinvestment. Now, overinvestment can be totally destructive in your life, but more so, you just lose yourself. And again, this is what I went through. I lost myself. I lost my identity. Let's say driving by the house of a man you have only had a few good dates with. You're driving by his house, you're checking up on him, you're curious about him, maybe you're calling him and hanging up or using a different phone number. Well, this is overinvestment because you're already feeling a little bit jealous, even though he doesn't owe you anything. Now remember, no one really owes you anything, but especially no one owes you anything when you're just dating. Now, one of the things I want you to look into that you're doing is, do you comb over his text messages? Do you replay conversations in his words, in his actions, in his text? I want you to ask yourself, are you really digging into meaning with that? Because that's a good place you can begin to notice, observe what you're doing, and ask yourself, how does it really feel to break apart this person's text messages? You know, I'm looking for meaning. I want you to get real about what it is you really want and what you're doing. And feminine energy is find what you feel. Now, step four, this is a big one. I want you to just accept that you're love starved. Look, when my first husband and I split up, the whole reason the artist had any power over me is I was super duper love starved. And love starved is where you just really are so hungry for any love, any attention, that you'll accept any sort of behavior and you'll get really super attached to it. It's as if you have been starved and someone is now introducing Brussels sprouts to you. You don't even like Brussels sprouts, but you're going to eat them up because you've been starving. So that's how we get attached to these men that are kind of hot and cold. They're not really aligning with our overall core values and beliefs. It is because we are love starved. Now, I want you to begin to journal about this because this is very important to write it all down. Now, you've been operating in masculine energy, which is very logical. I want you to get grounded in feminine energy, which is, what do I feel in my body? So if this person is in front of me, what do I feel? If this person is away from me, what do I feel? How do I feel? And I want you to learn and ask yourself, how can I develop and sustain pleasure from other things in life, not just this man? Now, you have perhaps been looking for validation from a man for quite some time, or validation from others, or validation from your family, your boss, your coworkers, and your value as a person feels dependent on the love that you get. So in my program, the ABCs to get him back, I get your vibe up so you avoid being love starved. Because when you are at that point, again, anything will feel good. This work begins and ends with how you feel. So the big one here, see if you can sit with discomfort. See if you can sit with it. Develop a sense of curiosity about how you feel. and accept that some part of you is love-starved. And you can develop a rich and juicy life with a little time and a little attention onto something else. Okay, I've gone over my 4 steps, and I'm going to do a quick recap and give you a little more information about how to really solve this in your feminine energy. So the first thing I want you to realize you can do at any time is manage your mind. You can begin to observe your thoughts. And if you find yourself feeling icky, ask yourself, what was I just thinking? I want you to get that thought out and notice it just as a thought. Now, you can have productive thoughts and you can have unproductive thoughts. One of my favorite things to do is when I have a thought pop into my mind and I know that it's not serving me, I'll just go, unproductive thought, unproductive thought. And I'll just quickly dismiss it and just let yourself know, it's okay to feel discomfort. It's okay to find how I feel. But if I start remembering or thinking things that are going to do me no good right now, here in the present moment, that is an unproductive thought. So you're going to begin to sort your thoughts and understand your brain is automatic. It's usually negative. It's in masculine energy mode, which is survival mode. And in feminine energy means you are going to observe your feelings. You're going to slow down the train, and you're going to find what she feels good in her body, what feels good to her, instead of letting masculine energy mind run the show automatically. Another thing I want you to begin to do, even if you're dating, even if you're in a relationship, is something called quantum dating. Now, if you're in a relationship, you wouldn't actually go out on real dates, but you can still have lots of masculine energy coming towards you. Now, I don't want you to think of this in a negative term, as in someone trying to pick you up and you flirting with them sexually. This is about receiving warmth, compliments, admiration, friendship, such as a gentleman opening a door for you. If the Amazon guy makes a delivery, you can smile at him, do a little head tilt. You're having an energy exchange in that moment. Some kindness, some appreciation is being exchanged. That's what I mean by accepting those arrows from guys. They'll send them to you all day. Ladies, learn how to accept them. You're a beautiful, awesome, powerful, dynamite woman. Accept arrows, and accept arrows from all men. A big part of this is identifying what feels good to you when you're feeling good as a woman, and other things that you really love to enjoy and do in your life, and recreate this in life. Bring more pleasure into your life. Get more autonomy as a woman away from relationships to what feels good to me. So when you create distance between you and the man, that's when the man pursues you. He gets very, very curious about you. So ladies, when you receive arrows from a man and you get a taste of what it feels like to get that masculine energy from a man, it's going to feel really good. But it won't be you filling up on something that you've been starved for. It will be something now where you can receive. You can receive without it meaning you have to go meet someone at a hotel, or you're cheating on your spouse, or you're being a bad girl, or whatever it may be. It's just, I'm receiving. I can receive kindness. I can receive energy and appreciation from masculine energy sources and also feminine energy sources. The next thing I want to tell you is that if you miss this man, you love this man, you have a lot of love in your heart for him, I want you to be able to feel that love in your heart and tap your heart and send him that love. Tap your heart and send him that love. Practice some of those. Don't forget to tap your own heart and send you love. You are a beautiful, powerful, dynamite woman. If this video has been helpful, please take a moment, hit subscribe, give me thumbs up. And if you want to go deeper, look into some of my self-study programs and try something new, try on feminine energy, and please report back to me. And as always, I love to hear from you in the comment sections. I answer them personally. All right, ladies, thank you so much for tuning in. Much love to you. Mwah. Bye-bye.